Hi, it's Nørgaard. So today we're starting out completely barefaced because I'm going to do a foundation first impressions review. So if you guys watched my latest favorites video, which I will actually film after I film this video, but it will be up before this one. So if you watched that video, then you guys know that I have recently been in Copenhagen. And in case you guys don't know, Copenhagen is the capital of Denmark, which is the country where I live. And in Denmark you don't have Sephora all over. You only have Sephora. I think we have like 2, maybe 3 Sephoras in Denmark, and they are all located in Copenhagen. And we do not have a site, like a website for Sephora in Denmark. So you can only buy things from Sephora at Sephora in Copenhagen. So the point of that story is that when I went to Copenhagen, of course I went to Sephora and I picked up a bunch of stuff. But the thing we're going to focus on today is going to be this Marc Jacobs Remarkable foundation. I went into Sephora and I wasn't really, I wasn't going for anything specific. And then I saw this foundation and I have been hearing a lot of buzz about this one lately. So I thought I would give it a try. And then when I got back home to where I live, I thought why not do one of those first impressions foundation reviews. Because this is a fairly new foundation. I believe it came out like around the summertime. But yeah, this is what it looks like. It says Marc Jacobs Remarkable Foundation Concentrate. And it's supposed to be a full coverage foundation. And I have heard good and bad things about this. I have heard that this is super full coverage and it should be like really great. But I have also heard that it should be cakey. But you guys know how much I love full coverage. So I thought I had to give this a try because in the title it says full cover foundation concentrate. So you guys know I couldn't pass that up. And I got mine in the color 10 Ivory Light. And I was in a bit of a rush, so I just kind of looked at the displays of the foundations and I just kind of picked the lightest color because I had to hurry a little bit because we were going somewhere else. So I hope this color matches my skin tone. It looks right in the bottle, so fingers crossed. So this is what the packaging looks like. So it's a very nice glass bottle and you open it up like this and it has that little thing that you just screw right off. And as you guys can see, it looks like a pretty good skin tone match here in the bottle. So yeah, it feels really luxurious because it's super heavy because of the glass material. And I think it looks rather sleek, but I'm not like dying over the packaging. I think it's nice and sleek and simple, and it feels nice and sturdy, but it's not, but it's not something like spectacular. So when people have been complaining about this foundation, it has oftentimes been that it's very expensive. And in Denmark this is 370 DKK, which is our currency, and that's not bad for a high-end foundation. That's what high-end foundation costs. It would be the same in like Makeup Forever, NARS, Stila, Too Faced, all of that. It's around that price mark. But apparently in the US it's like $50 or $60, which is apparently very expensive. Yeah, in Denmark the price is not too bad, but generally things are expensive in Denmark. So yeah, anyways, let's get on and put this on my face. So I'm going to do half my face with a primer and the other half without anything, just to see if a primer makes any difference, because usually when I do wear foundation I do tend to wear a primer underneath, but I of course also really want to test how this works on its own. So I'm going to use my Smashbox Photo Finish primer and I'm applying it over here on the left side of my face. And just so you guys know, I do have oily skin and I have a particularly oily T-zone. I get really oily right here and on the sides of my nose and also right here on the cheeks and then the middle of the forehead. And that really seems to happen for me no matter what I do. Even if I wear super mattifying foundations and primers and setting sprays and powders, my face just always gets oily. So we'll see how this holds up. So it says to shake it well, so let's do it. And then the applicator is kind of like this little, it looks like one of those that you would use to drip like little drops with, but it doesn't actually do that. It's just kind of round in the end. And it says to only apply 3 to 4 drops, like dots on your face of this foundation. So I'm going to try that and see if that is enough. Okay, so I dot one there, and one there, and one there, and one there. That's not going to be able to cover my whole face, but we'll try it and then I'll add more later. So I'm going to blend it out with my sponge. It's very nice coverage. It does indeed blend out super well, like it covers a huge area. I feel like the color is even a little bit too light for me actually, but it applies super evenly both on the primed and the non-primed side. And the coverage is very nice, but I do feel like I need some more. So I am going to be applying a second layer. I feel like the applicating whole system is really messy. I really wanted just like a pump. That would be a lot easier. The color is super light. I'm really surprised because it seems a bit darker in the container, but it makes my skin almost look like ghostly pale, which normally my skin is super light, so the light foundations aren't even light enough. But I should probably have gone up a shade in this foundation. It does go on super smoothly and it doesn't emphasize my pores at all. The prime side is completely flawless over my pores, but the non-primed side is still really nice. I'm actually also going to apply this around my eyes. I'm really surprised at how light it is. Like the color is so light, I look so freaking pale. So I'm also going to see how it works around the eye area. It also goes on super easily around the eyes. So it does have a matte finish, and it still feels tacky though, and when I like dab my fingers on top of the foundation, I do get excess product, which I'm not a fan of. But other than that, the finish is really nice. As I said, it doesn't emphasize any pores and it looks pretty good. So now, because it is too light for me, I'm going to use a pressed powder that matches my skin tone. I'm going to use Stay Matte by Rimmel. This is in the color Sandstorm, and I'm just going to set my whole face with this powder. And you can already see that it looks much more like my natural skin tone with this powder on top. It's really not that much of a big deal if your foundation doesn't match 100%, because if it's too light like this one, you can always add a darker powder, and if it's too dark, you can add a lighter powder. And of course you can mix your foundations. So around my eyes, I'm going to mix Sandstorm and Transparent. And remember to blend out the creases before you start applying your powder. So that's what it looks like with powder on. And I really quite like it. It definitely matches my skin tone a lot better now. So even though I applied 2 coats of this foundation, it does not look cakey. So I must confess that I think it looks really beautiful. The finish, my skin just looks super even, especially on the primed side of my face. It's so smooth on top of like my pores, and also smooth on top of my under eye area and around my lips. I really like it. So I'm going to film a different tutorial where I'm going to do the rest of my makeup, and when I'm done with that, I will come back and give you guys an update. Okay, so now I have all my makeup on. I just did a tutorial for this whole look, and so far so good. Nothing has really changed with my foundation. It's probably like an hour and a half since I put on the foundation, and it still looks beautiful. Some foundations actually start getting oily on me in that time frame, like an hour and a half, but I don't see any oil whatsoever. So yeah, of course I did apply bronzer and contour, blush and highlight, but yeah, so far so good. And I also applied it underneath my eyes, It's so freaking good. It hasn't like creased whatsoever. Like, this shit works better than some of my concealers. I'm really impressed. Because oftentimes it starts creasing, but this one doesn't, which I'm really happy about. So yeah, it still looks perfect. So I will come back at the end of the night after I have been out with my boyfriend, and then we'll see how my foundation looks. But yeah, so far so good. My first impression of this foundation is that it's really freaking awesome, and I'm really happy that I got the color to work. But yeah, I'll see you guys in, I don't know, 5 hours maybe? Okay you guys, so I'm back home from my date night with my boyfriend, and we are going to do the final update on the Marc Jacobs foundation thing. I've forgotten the official name. The Marc Jacobs Remarkable Full Cover Foundation Concentrate. So I must say that I'm really impressed, because I'm not looking oily whatsoever. I do have the tiniest bit of oil right around my nostrils, and I do notice that it's worse on the side where I did not apply a primer, but on the side where I did apply a primer, it looks brand new. It did rub off on my chin and my nose a tiny bit, but I mean, I did kiss my boyfriend, but I mean, when you kiss, then your nose and your chin, they touch, and you know. So I expected that there would be a little bit of smearing around those areas. But other than that, I'm really impressed with this foundation. So I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can see for yourself. So that is what the foundation looks like. It didn't crease underneath my eyes either. So all in all, I'm super impressed. I think I might have to get my, you know, actual color in this foundation, because I'm just loving it so freaking much. I really love the staying power, and I really love the finish. I definitely feel like with the primer underneath, this is just flawless. So yeah, that's my first impressions on the Marc Jacobs Remarkable Foundation. So if you like this kind of video, then please give this video a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day, and take care, and bye bye.